Hi.
Always the giggles. We can't stop.
I know.
How are you?
I'm good. A little tired, but good.
Grad school, yo.
Grad school.
Yeah.
All the people know.
Yeah.
Yup. How are you?
I'm good.
I like the lips.
Yeah, I'm wearing like a Barbie pink lipstick. You're welcome, world.
World, yes. Yes, world.
Yes. And my, whatever, it's a brand, but I don't care. My Little Pony sweater.
It's cute.
Cling.
We all know.
Yay.
My Little Pony.
So, dude, last episode, this is our episode 8. And last episode, we talked about the yamas, which is the first limb of yoga.
Yes.
And today, we're going to talk about the second limb of yoga, which are the niyamas. And before that, I just wanted to give a shout out to this place that we're recording in.
Oh, yes. So we have moved location, but same owner and same company is Latinx Therapy and with Adriana. And we have now moved, still in Burbank. But
different building, same business.
Yes, same business.
And Latinx Therapy is also not only a conglomerate, a community of Latinx therapists, but it's also a podcast, so you can find it too, and a directory for Latinx therapists, and I just read that 98% of their therapists speak Spanish.
Yay!
Yes.
So good, which is helpful because normally when you're going through emotional stuff, it's nice to be just speaking in your first language.
Exactly. And there's a lot of first gen or immigrants that either only speak Spanish or they're most comfortable speaking Spanish. So it's great to have that option of a therapist that speaks Spanish and also kind of like understands the culture, because that plays a big part.
It's a huge part. If we haven't learned anything from the pandemic, that is it.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Latinx Therapy here in Burbank. Check them out. They're on Instagram at Latinx Therapy. Okay, so yamas. Last episode. What are the yamas? Let's review.
Okay, so the first one is ahimsa.
But what are they in general?
Oh, so they are basically abstinences.
Okay.
To abstain from. I don't know the plural.
Like these, these suggestions of
restriction.
Restrictions, yes.
Yeah.
And there were ahimsa, which is no harming, satya, which is telling the truth. Then what's next?
Asteya.
The non-stealing. Asteya, which is non-stealing or being generous. What's the fourth?
Brahmacharya, which is
is that the one with related to the sexual abstinence?
Yeah, sometimes? I was going to say self-controlled, but it directly translates to abstinence.
But it's like the modern interpretation. However you want to, let's say, manage your energy. It could be sexual or non-sexual. And with everything else, the other yamas in mind, the non-harming and the truth and the generosity, you go into this one. And then the fifth?
Aparigraha, which is appreciation. The abstaining word.
What is it like translation for that one? Do we know?
Oh no, I was just going to look it up. I thought I had it.
But never mind.
No, I don't know. Appreciation, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, gratitude practice.
Okay, so now the niyamas. These are what?
Basically, observances that we follow to find harmony within ourselves and then with our world around us.
So a lot of people say that like yamas are the don't and Niyamas are the do's.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the Yamas, we try to present them as Jenny Lee in her book, which is a reframed version of them, which is like focusing on the positive.
The
so
positive
instead of
aspect,
like non-harming is like being compassionate, or instead of like non-stealing is like being generous. So now the Niyamas are already like in a positive
light.
Yeah, exactly. So let's do.
Okay, so
let's go over them. Number one,
Saucha.
Saucha,
which means purity.
Purity. Yeah, there's this. I feel like there's this obsession in yoga of like being clean, and there's all these like cleaning techniques or like detox techniques for your body, but like anywhere from like all the holes in your body, like physically, to be like, okay, scrape your tongue and like clean your ears and your nostrils, your how do you call these in signs in English? All of these that you have in your forehead and right next to your nose. When you have sinusitis, are those
sinuses? But I think they're the lymph nodes.
The lymph nodes? That's where you're cleaning?
Yeah, like you use the roller to like move the fluid.
Oh, I was talking about the neti
pot.
Yeah.
Oh, for sinus.
Yes, sinus.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were saying signs.
Yeah, because I can remember the word in English for like sinus. We call them senos. Oh, like just like boobs, which is odd. But we call them senos like paranasals. But like sinus is the Latin word, but in we just call that in Spanish senos. So sinus in English, you guys use the Latin word. And what else? There's like all sorts of the flush, the digestive flush, even like throwing up, like saline water, and then like just throwing it up. Those to me, a few of them are like, that's a little bit extreme or like too much. But it comes from that correlation of like, if you clean your body, then you can clean your mind and your soul. And the other way around.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's like they go hand in hand. And then when you have more of a purification of the inner self, then that helps you within all the other practices of yoga. So Jenny Lee, she says practicing Saucha is basically like staying connected with the pure self in times of like chaos, or like the calming in the storm, or like the eye of the storm, if you've heard of that. So just being able to really connect with that pure sense of self, even when things get chaotic, because sometimes we can get drawn into the environment and the chaos and whatever's happening on the outside of us, that then we lose touch with our sense of self. So being able to like work on those practices to purify both physical but also mental, emotional as well.
And I like that interpretation. Instead of being like purity, get rid of the toxins, is more like connect to your true self.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see, some suggestions. Excuse me.
You're excused.
So, like even decluttering.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, she recommends like getting rid of possessions.
To people.
What?
Too. That applies to people too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To get rid of things that don't serve you. So decluttering, but also getting rid of.
Whether it's, people who aren't serving you, or toxic people, or setting boundaries, or whatever the case with others. But yeah, also just like decluttering your space, decluttering your car, decluttering the environments that you're in, because when there is a lot of clutter, then the mind also is very cluttered.
And that's science. That's not like,
that's not like, oh, maybe this, like, no. That's pretty proven.
That's proven. Yeah. Then when there's a lot of stimuli, you can't focus, or it's harder.
It is harder. Yeah. So, or just like having appreciation for natural objects. You know what I mean? So whether it's plants, whether it's like being outside, appreciation for the trees, the earth, like the leaves, the flowers, even like the snow or the rain or the wind or, you know, whatever natural elements, rocks that are around you, crystals. Yeah. Just getting into kind of that resonance with nature is also helping to purify the self.
Yes. Avoid plastic at all costs, please. The vibration of plastic is horrendous. No, it's low. And also, I mean, we know it's toxic. Like it's just toxic for you, even if you touch it, even if you don't realize.
Yeah.
And just its production is just toxic to the environment and other species and people, because marginalized people usually live next to toxic spaces.
Yeah.
Yes.
Buildings and whatever they're doing. Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing she mentions too is just like decluttering your schedule. You know, so instead of like piling everything up and go and do all the things and say yes to everything, it's like, no, where can you actually say no to? Where can you give yourself some space and time to just honor yourself for a moment, you know? So it's like back to back things. Maybe it's like, no, like give yourself 15 minutes in between or 10 minutes in between, or at least like make sure you're not working through lunch. Like make sure you take a lunch.
I always do that. I work through lunch. I schedule without thinking.
Oh, really?
Oh, I need to eat. And the good thing is that with some clients, I can just eat at the same time. Like we're both like, especially with kids, it's more flexible because they're snacking and then I can snack too, or we make it a thing. Like we talk about our food and like that's a learning experience. But yeah, I tend to do that. And then I'm like, oh, when am I gonna, like right now, I just had an apple and it's 3 p.m.
Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard practice. Or even like I try not to eat when I drive, but sometimes I feel like driving's the only time.
Exactly. That happens to me too. Commuting and eating. Because I commute for an hour, an hour back, and it's like, what am I going to do? Listen to podcasts and eat.
Yeah, it's like do something, right? Utilize the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of just a way of, you know, being able to be aware of what your body needs, and then taking the time to honor that.
Good. So. I mean, this is very like applicable in life. Right away.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these things, a lot of the yamas and niyamas both are probably things we do all the time. We just don't necessarily recognize it or recognize it in like the yogic sense even. But it's like, oh, wait, I actually do that. And oh, that is part of the niyama. Like, cool. Yeah. I am a yogi. Like I'm doing the yogi thing.
Yes.
Or the yogini thing.
Yeah, because there's so many ways of like practicing yoga every day or like living a yogic life, but it's not the washed version of yoga, which is only asanas, only poses.
Yeah, because literally a client of mine, he just like this was his last day of yoga. He's going back home, and I was like, "Are you going to keep up your yoga practice?" He's like, I don't know if I have time. I was like, what do you mean? You don't have time for yoga? I was like, yoga's everything. And he's like, oh, you're right. He's like, yeah, if I just pay attention to my breath, that's yoga, right? I was like, yes.
If I'm kind, that's yoga.
Yeah.
If we're vegan, that's yoga every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's understanding that it's not just, like you said, the asana, or it's not just one thing. It's not just meditation.
Yeah. It's not just committed to a physical practice or committing to a meditation. It's everything you can practice in the little things, the little actions. Okay. Or not actions, like what you don't say. That's also
what you abstain from.
What you abstain from, exactly.
Exactly. Okay. Anything else you want to say about the first niyama, Saucha?
Saucha. I like that name. I don't even know the names of the niyamas, dude.
I'll tell you.
Thank you. Saucha. Ha!
Saucha.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Dos.
Santosha.
Santosha.
Which means contentment.
I'm familiar with that one.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Because to me, it reminds me of just coming into balance and neutral like spaces, so whether like instead of looking at something as good or bad,
Yes.
it's just
is.
You know what I mean? Even feelings, like it's like you have a quote unquote negative feeling, but that's not necessarily bad. Or good. It's just what you're feeling. And so to like take like the sting or the stigma or the judgment,
right or wrong. Whatever you're feeling is never right or wrong. It's just what you're feeling.
Yeah. So I like this one a lot. I have to work on it a lot though.
Yeah, I feel like I'm constantly working on it because it's a hard one for me, like to be content and don't go to the like negative.
Right. Yeah. And like what Jenny Lee says in here, she's like, it shouldn't be confused with complacency or stagnancy.
Yeah. Like mediocrity, let's say. Yeah. Because also because of this like capitalist world that we live in where everything's supremacist and like there's supposed to be like this competitive thing all the time. Some people might think that contentment means like, oh, I don't care. I'm just mediocre, whatever. Right. But no, that's not it. That's actually just how you achieve happiness. Not really with achievements or goals or money or if I get married, if I have kids, if I like all these things that society says that you should obtain or that you should get at. It's really just bullshit. In reality, what's going to make you happy is to appreciate what you have, focus on what you have,
right,
and accept that situation. And yes, change it if you don't, like in the future, start making changes to maybe change the situation, but in the moment, don't just stay in that
routine, like that cyclical,
that void pattern, that cyclical pattern of it's just not sustainable to be focusing on like what I don't have or what I need, because you're always gonna need something, or you're always gonna be able to find something that you don't have. Right. If you focus on that, then you're always gonna be just focusing on that. It's like seeing the glass half full or half empty.
Optimism, pessimism, and
not toxic optimism or positivism. I mean positivity, not that like I'm gonna just pretend that everything's fine, but like truly being okay with the situation,
with what it is happening right now. And that's the thing too, it's a very like present moment practice. Yes, it gets you out of like looking back in the past, which could lead to depression, or looking forward in the future, which could lead to anxiety.
Yes,
it's just very much like, okay, this is what it is. Now you have like time to evaluate and say, okay, I don't necessarily want things to be this way, but you have to catch the thoughts first, because it's like just like cognitive behavioral therapy, like the thoughts leads to feelings to leads to actions. So if you want to change the actions, it starts with the thoughts, and the feelings. So
exactly,
but I mean, I like too what you said just about like the successes. And not necessarily having to focus on like the achievements and the success, but also to like be good with the process.
Like when you practice asanas, if that's the only thing you do and you have a good teacher, they probably told you like it's not the goal, like the pose is not the goal, it's the process. It's like how you keep this same, like the breath, and how you keep the balance while you're moving or being still. That's the yoga. It's not being able to achieve a pose,
do
and
this
look
pose.
like and have it like an insta moment.
Exactly. So that is Santosha.
Santosha, I like you. I practice you all the time.
I do too.
Getting better.
Okay, so the third niyama is tapas.
Tapas, yes,
which
I'm familiar with that one too.
Right action or non-attachment.
Okay.
So doing the right thing without attachment to like the result.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had this example in my yoga training where this guy was like, I mean, I don't have an attachment. Like, I don't help people because I want to like be a hero or like feel good. But like, for example, I can help feel frustrated when I give something. For example, I gave food to a homeless man and he was like, I don't need this. And he was like pissed and he just like, I don't want that. And then I was pissed because I'm like, well, that's the attachment. You were expecting him to be super grateful and to like, and you feeling in some way like a savior. And that when that didn't happen, that's why you felt frustrated. And actually he got pissed at me when I said that.
Well.
And I was like, again, expectations are. Yeah. And the teacher was like, I think the teacher later like kind of like deviated the conversation, but came back to that, to saying that, yes, it was in fact, he just didn't want to like, I guess, take sides.
Sure.
But yeah, it's when you do something expecting a specific result, when in reality you can't control the future.
Yeah, we can't control much.
We can't control much. Yeah.
I mean, we have control. We have control over what we focus on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like the thoughts are going to come in. So many thoughts come in. But we have the option to choose what thoughts want to stay and choose what thoughts we want to be like, okay, I don't want that thought. Like,
and also reaction.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Right.
A reaction to that. To
and
anything.
Yeah. Reaction versus what's the word I want?
Pre-action.
Pre-action.
Yeah, like when you are worried, that's actually like preoccupied. Like you're thinking about something because you don't know, you're kind of like attached to the result or to thinking what the result can be. And if this happened, then what's next? But if that were to happen, then what would I do? Because then I would be this and this and this and that. And then you create these scenarios that are completely hypothetical, but you literally live them. Like your emotions are there.
Yeah.
And if the scenario that you're imagining doesn't go your way, you're suffering completely pointlessly.
Now twice.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. Because you didn't even know if you were going to get there and suffer then. So
yeah. Tapas is hard. Like, thinking about, again, probably, and what comes in too is like that Saucha, the purity within yourself helps you to move within the right direction and come from a space of right action.
Yeah.
So then that way, if you have a trust in yourself to do what you know is best and what's right, then I think it's probably easier to let go of the attachment because you trust that you're going to do what's right.
If you're connected to your intuition, there's less doubt. There's just, oh yeah, I know that this is, but to be connected to your intuition and like you need clarity.
Yep.
So that's when it gets tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like in yoga, we can see some examples of that attachment or that those expectations when people like start practicing it because they think it's gonna do something specific for them. Like, oh, I'm doing it because I want my body to look a certain way, or I want whatever it is. Like you're putting like an idea that, okay, I'm doing this for this result. And then in reality, you don't know.
Right.
You might gain weight doing yoga because that's what your body needs.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
And I think too, to that point, it's like, because in yoga, we do set an intention.
Yes.
So there is like a specific thing that like sometimes we want to put our focus on. Yes. But I feel like that is different than like having this desire or need for like going into the practice.
No, yeah. An intention is just like what you're going to be focusing on.
Right.
Like today in this practice, I'm going to be focusing on like, I am healthy or I am abundant, or I am like whatever it is that you want to, or like anything is possible,
right?
Like whatever, how it's kind of like the perspective you're gonna have during the time of that day's practice.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as at the end of this practice, I'm gonna feel super relaxed.
Right. Because that's like the ego then coming in. Yeah.
Or I'm gonna be able to do my splits all the way after this month.
Yeah.
That's not yoga. That's gymnastics or ballet. Do those. Yeah. They traumatize. I love ballet, but it's like, it has also traumatized a lot of dancers. Yes, because there's like a specific aesthetic, and there's that like you have to. And also like competition, comparison, ranks, like prima ballerina, or like chorus, or like just the choir, or like corps of the ballet. Like it's interesting. And there's mirrors, and you're always looking at yourself.
Yeah. That's something in the yoga room that I like, to have no mirrors.
Same. That's one of the things that it's like almost like a requirement for me. No mirrors. It also tells you the kind of studio it is, the style, kind of, when they don't have mirrors.
Yeah. Which is interesting, because it's like I understand the perspective of like wanting mirrors for right alignment, for safety. And I think maybe even as a beginner, it can be helpful so that you understand what the shape is, not only in your body, but what it looks like for your body, because it's going to be different than you looking around everyone else in the room. But ideally, you're practicing with a teacher who's going to look at you for safety, for adjustment, for alignment, and therefore, why mirror?
Yeah. And actually, even in ballet, there's always mirrors, but the teacher will always say, don't look in the mirror. Feel the position. Don't look at the position. Just feel it.
Interesting. That's hard.
The mirror.
Because that's tempting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tempted. Every time
usually, like, you practice this choreo, and just like in the dance realm, you practice a choreo, always like look in the mirror. And when it's like, okay, let's do it away from the mirror, it's like the next step. It's like, okay, we're ready now to like feel each other's and like feel our space, and not bump into each other. Don't bump into each other, or don't rely on copying each other through the mirror.
I see.
Because now you're going to be facing the audience, and you won't have that. So it's kind of like cutting the training wheels. It's like the last step of like, okay, this choreo is done now, away from the mirror. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to then take it to yoga, if you will, like without mirrors is actually like a deeper practice.
Exactly. Because you feel it in your body.
Yeah. Embodying it,
literally.
More connected with the breath, more connected with yourself within the meditation.
And less stimuli, which we also talked about, like less clutter. Because the mirror, you're looking at everyone too. It's not just like your mirror when you're looking at yourself. You're looking at everyone that's behind
Everything's
you.
Going on.
Yeah, and then the sides.
And if you say that's not happening, I beg to differ, but maybe you have some really good focus.
One time, actually, I was like sad that my yoga studio didn't have mirrors, because Sutton Foster, which is a very prominent Broadway actress, she crossed over to TV, and some people might know her through TV, but I know her from Broadway. She's like a legend. I took the whole class, without noticing that she was there. And in the end, she was like thanking the teacher. And I was like, oh my God, you're Sutton Foster. I was like, I would usually like take tea before I left the studio. And I was like serving the tea so slowly, and then like blowing on it, and then sipping on it super slowly, to be in the same room as her, like for longer. That was the only time that I was like, damn it. But at the same time, it's like, if there had been a mirror, I would have been focusing on Sutton Foster the whole class.
Yeah, and not your practice.
Yes. And probably like performing, like, oh,
yeah.
she needs to see this. She needs to see how great my cane dancer is.
Yeah, that's very true. Like that whole idea of like performing. Like the second you, I don't know, like you get like that sense like someone's watching or you want to like impress, it's like,
yes.
It's like, it's so funny in a classroom when you're teaching and it's all females and then one male walks in, the whole energy changes and all these women all of a sudden, I've noticed, practice yoga differently.
Yeah. They're either more self-conscious.
Yes.
Or they want to like probably like
do their best or whatever.
Yeah, there are different reasons.
Of course. Yeah.
Be like, oh, now I can't like, I feel like not as comfortable anymore. Or it can also be like, instinctively the ego, like, I'm gonna be flirty or like whatever. It could be different ways.
Yeah, totally different ways.
Different approaches to that. Not that all women are want the acceptance of like the one do.
Yeah.
But it changes
the energy. Yeah, completely. But I mean, that kind of brings it back to like the tapas and the right action and just, again, being with yourself. I mean, like, no, I'm doing this for me, regardless of my environment, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
So, okay. Tapas.
Okay, tapas.
Which is also, tapas translates as fire as well.
Okay.
So tapas and like Agni is fire and puja is fire, like all these different kind of aspects of fire. So with that fire energy, it's like willpower, empowerment, like solar plexus. Like it's also like guiding force there.
I've heard another word for tapas that was discipline. But I don't know how to, it could be like what you just said, the like motivation or the willpower to do things.
Well, it's just continually doing it for yourself. And it's like to build that needs to be a practice, just like the whole yoga practice in general. But it's like, you don't just, well, maybe some people, but a lot of people don't just be like, okay, I want the willpower and then willpower. Like it's a practice and a discipline of like, no, I'm going to do my yoga every day in some aspect, or like learn a yama or niyama every day, or practice some aspect. Like there is a discipline in being aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to me.
Okay, tapas. I see you, tapas.
Okay. The next niyama is Swadhyaya, which is self-reflection. Or like diving into like sacred text and learning.
So it's basically the time you take to learn about yourself or how you're going to apply the philosophy in your life.
Yeah. So it's very much relying on, whether you're conversing with teachers or you're studying or
making a podcast.
Yeah. But I mean, even like going to therapy.
Yes.
Is Swadhyaya.
Yeah.
That not many people think is a yogic practice, but going to therapy and like counseling is a yogic practice because you are diving into yourself. You're looking at the shadow self. You're looking at these things you don't want to look at. You're talking about, being yourself in a space that is non-judgmental and just seeing what happens. Yeah. So self-reflection. I mean, and there's so many sacred texts. It's not just the sacred text of yogic tradition.
Yeah. It can be all of your, what you consider
sacred
texts.
Jenny Lee says the best time for reflective study is after meditation, when your intuition and awareness is heightened.
Pro tip. You heard.
Lee, that's what's up. Or just even the simple act of like reflecting at the end of the day and just like contemplating like, okay, what did I do today? How did I
feel?
Go through? Yeah, exactly. How did I feel?
How did I react to this?
Mm-hmm.
How did I solve that?
Mm-hmm.
How did I talk to Hannah?
Right. What was that like?
Yeah.
Or like journaling, you know what I mean? And it could
Hannah
easily
is a
be
journaler.
What?
I'm saying Hannah is a journaler.
Oh yeah, I journal. I like
she
to journal.
journals. Yeah, that's a really good practice.
But you know, it could be like morning pages journaling, where like you wake up first thing in the morning and you just write whatever. Or it could be like reflective at the end of the day. It could be gratitude journaling, whatever the case. But even like the gratitude practice is
reflective.
Yeah, and is connecting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well put.
Yeah. I mean, with all these things, I mean, they really intertwine with each other. It's not like, okay, this is the 8th Niyama, so this is step 8.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can literally do self-study.
5, right?
Or Niyama. Oh, what?
Because there's 5 yamas and 5 niyamas.
Yeah, I'm combining yamas and niyamas. But even then, the yamas and the niyamas can intertwine.
Yeah, definitely.
As long as you're holding ahimsa.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Exactly. Yeah. If you practice, like if you have ahimsa always in like before everything you do or say or in your thoughts and what you surround yourself, then basically the rest just kind of like it's easier that it falls into place more easily.
Absolutely.
Because if you're trying to not harm, then you're not going to steal or you're not going to lie. You're going to be generous. You're going to take care of yourself. You're going to want to reflect so you don't hurt yourself or others.
Right. And have that discipline and have that yearning to do better and find that right action and find that purity within yourself.
Yeah.
It like it's all connected.
It's all connected.
All connected. Okay.
Is this the 5th?
Yep, this is the last one.
Okay.
So the last niyama is called Ishwara-Pranidhana.
Ishwara-Pranidhana. Can I read it? Ishwara-Pranidhana.
Yes. Oh, yeah, now there are different ways to spell this, so I'm not going to spell it out loud because some people add H's, some people add V's instead of W's. Some, I don't know.
And also in other words, instead of an S, it's like an SH.
Yeah.
But I think like the S by itself, it's a sh sound. Like Shirshasana. Shirshasana. Yet asana is with an S. I don't get that. Is it ashana in reality? No, it's asana.
No. It is asana. It is. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked at my. I did. In TT, they taught us about Sanskrit and how to say it and pronounce it. But it's like a very ancient written language. It was never really a spoken language. So, yeah, I don't have much there. I don't speak
Sanskrit
unless it's in yoga, and then I try.
Yeah.
But okay, so Ishwara-Pranidhana is devotion.
Okay.
Tell me, Mela. Tell me about
your
devotion.
I remember that I was reading a book, actually one of the books about like the shadows, but it was like an earlier version, but it was like super dense. And so many chapters were about devotion or the divine and it was very hard for me to connect to that. And I remember telling you about it and I was like, I'm having trouble grasping these concepts of devotion to the divine.
Yeah.
Because in the first place, I struggled with the concept of the divine in the first place. Or God. Like I struggled with my definition of those terms because I was never raised in any religion. And actually, I think I was even raised with a bias against religion. Which I understand, I understand what's wrong about organized religion, but I know now the difference between faith and religion, like organized religion.
Okay.
So it was very hard to me to connect. And then I remember I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't know. I'm having trouble even like reading this because every time it says divine, I lose focus because I'm like, it throws me off because it's like, And even in teacher training, every time there was something like God or something, I was like, what's my substitution for that word? Like, how can I, what is that to me? What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying like, like this devotion, like, I don't know, like, what is it? Like, I don't know if I'm like surrendering to the divine. Like, I don't know what devotion means to me, or if I'm doing it, or if I can do it.
Which a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
Especially like in Kundalini yoga, they use the language God a lot. And I've had friends or students be like, like that is triggering me. Like talking about like God like this in a space that was supposed to be welcome to all.
Is that, what's the thing in Ayurveda that samskara?
A samskara?
Samskara, yes. When you have an attachment, an attached idea to a thing or whatever it is, to something, and it's hard for you to like break with it, to like change its meaning, or reframe it. And then you said, do you remember what you told me about like devotion?
Just about how you're devoted to like your practice and your like the way you are vegan, and the devotion to like feminism, and the devotion to like your what's the word?
Activism?
Activism. Yeah.
Yeah. It like basically could be like your passion, because I'm like, you basically translated to me like you're a passionate person, and your passion is your devotion, how you're devoted to like the people you love, or like caring for people, or like the subjects that are important to you, or learning, or things like that. So you're yearn to like learn or be better, or be compassionate, or be there for others, or love others. That is devotion. Yeah, it's like your underlying and your commitment to yourself to be better, and to be okay, to be well. To be well.
Yes. But it's like the motivational drive or force that keeps you going, that keeps you waking up, that keeps you continuing your whatever you're doing for life. Yeah. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be just divine. Like, what is divine? Such a big idea, right? That so many people have so many opinions on because of whatever life experience that they've had. Yeah. So like in this Ishwara-Pranidhana, it's just the devotion maybe to self. Maybe it's your devotion to science. Maybe it's devotion to research, or like you said, learning, or people, to animals. You know, it could be just the simple idea, like devotion to the earth. Yeah. The water, you know, the elements, whatever. Or just the idea of like surrendering to love. Yes. Just like being in love, immersing yourself in love. Because when you're operating out of the frequency of love, like all the other stuff falls to the wayside if it's a lower energy. Which is another thing that I want us to talk about maybe next time and next episode. But like those stages of like, or like levels of frequency, I think. What is that called? I don't even know. But there's like a chart that it's like the levels, like the lowest is shame, and the highest is enlightenment. But there's like 3D, 4D, 5D, and it's like how you like vibrate, basically. Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that next time. Yeah. Cling. You have to do some research. Yes. Because from just the general aspect of it, hearing that is just thinking about like when you're in a lower feeling, right? Just think about how your body feels. Think about how you're operating. And then think about how your body feels when you're joyous or happy or excited or whatever. Or in love. All those things. It's like you can even just feel the different frequency within yourself.
And people can feel it too. And you can drive people away if you're like really like depressed. And people can feel like, oh, she's like a party pooper. Like, no, I mean, I'm actually clinically,
like there's a diagnosis.
There's a diagnosis for that. But it can, like, people can be sensitive to that frequency and be like, oh, I just don't want to
be around
that just automatically without thinking, giving it much thought. I mean,
yes.
So we'll do that next time. What else for today? How have you been with grad school? Please tell us. What else have you learned? You were telling me.
Wait.
Yeah, tell. Go right ahead.
Oh, this is probably not what you're going to say. Or maybe it is. So I haven't known much about schizophrenia, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've never looked into this. But we're learning about it. And schizophrenia happens when there's too much dopamine released in the body and the brain. And to me, reading that and learning about that, I was like, what? Like all of the science, like not all the science, obviously, that's the science. But I feel like all of the like health culture and wellness culture talks about like lower stress hormones and raise dopamine and raise serotonin and all the happy feelings and yay. So I've always had that perception of like all the dopamine's good, all the serotonin's good. Like,
but that's why there's this concept in science and like just like I guess biological systems, homeostasis is like it's not really balance, or it's not. It's like it's defined by. The definition of homeostasis is when within a system, when all the variables are within their range or like their normal levels.
Yes.
Because if there's less or more, then the other levels automatically are gonna try to compensate, and then there's gonna be like a mess, and that's illness. The opposite of
homeostasis.
Homeostasis is illness.
Which correlates directly to yoga because we're always trying to find balance and homeostasis in everything.
And even I think the first definition in teacher training, it was like, what is yoga? And before the like union and like all of those things, they explained it like graphically. It's like, let's say this is your mind. And it was like a teet, like going up and down, like a
heart rate.
Yeah, like a what do you call those?
EKG.
Electrocardiograma. EKG.
Yeah. Electrocardiograma.
Yes, electrocardiograma. Yes. See, I can say that, but I can say EKG for some reason. So it's like up and down. And it's like yoga is a way to make them more like waves until it finally is me. That's bliss. When you're not, and to me that's like being like, being Mexican and also like an actress and like so like dramatic and passionate in an areas. To me that's like, what? So I don't get to enjoy the ups and downs.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? But I see how it makes sense, like, because it's also kind of like it's a practice. It's not like you're gonna be in bliss 24/7,
right?
Unless you're like, I don't know, the Buddha, the boots.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, the body is going to regulate to find homeostasis. So if you are exaggerated to that high, there's going to be a low.
Yes.
And you just have to understand that that's what's going to happen.
So what is schizophrenia? I mean, how does it present? That's what I mean. Like there's like an imbalance.
Oh, there's so much.
I mean, that there's a lot of it, and then you crash, or it's always high.
No, it's always high.
Okay,
it's always high. So that's why you have to have medication. Not have to, but
to regulate it.
It is the most very helpful to have medication, which is also something that I'm learning is a thing, because I have not ever really liked to use medication,
Yeah.
Western medication,
Same,
to aid my body. But also genetically and biologically, I don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, you haven't been in that state when it's like we need to pull you from whatever it is, like whatever super dangerous condition or state.
Yeah. So with schizophrenia, the medication is there to help not release so much dopamine. And that's very helpful.
Yeah. And it does have side effects.
There's
obviously,
going to be side effects, of course. But to regulate the fact that you're not going into psychosis all the time.
Risking your life and lives
of others. Yeah, like it's very helpful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, unfortunately, when they go into psychosis, they end their lives.
Hurt
because whatever some voices told them to, or whatever the case. And it's different too, because we use like, oh, you're a psycho, in such common language. Or, you're schizo,
or even you're crazy, right?
You're crazy, yeah.
Or OCD,
yeah, like
which is not even the name of it's the name of the disorder. It's not the name of a person with the disorder, but
exactly.
We throw these terms around like they're fucking
they're just
confetti.
just I'm going to use whatever language I want to all the time, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, those are actually serious conditions that happen to real people with real consequences and side effects. So it's very interesting to start to learn. I'm in the process of learning, so I can't tell you much more yet. But
you've told us a lot, Hannah.
Okay, great. Thanks. Check.
This was very informative, as usual.
But it is just interesting to understand that, or like even with depression, like some people are just biologically predispositioned for depression. And the thing is that, yes, there are ways to help with depression that don't include medication. But the thing is, if someone is suffering such major depression, they might not even have the motivation to do anything, to get out of bed, to blink their eyes, to turn on the lights, to drink water, to go to the bathroom. Like literally daily functioning does not happen. Like brushing the teeth does not happen. Putting clothes on does not happen. Showers, like when those things are that depressed, like sometimes medication can just give them like a little jolt of energy to
go to therapy,
to wake, not even go to therapy, dude. Like literally just to go to the bathroom in the toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead
of feed yourself, to not die.
Yes.
Literally.
So it's like I am now learning benefits of medication because now does that person have to be on medication for the rest of their life? Maybe, maybe not. But at least if they can get some motivation to start applying other coping mechanisms, to start going to therapy, to start helping the situation, then maybe they can taper off.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're fine with the idea that this medication helps. So it's been very enlightening because I've been very against it for a while.
Because sometimes what happens is that it's not accompanied by therapy, like by another kind of guidance. Like it's just putting a Band-Aid on something instead of attacking the root cause.
Right.
Like you need to go to the, so where's what's causing the depression? Is it really just a chemical imbalance? Or is it something that's triggering it? Like an abusive relationship or like a codependent relationship or some stress relating situations, like your work or, I don't know, your migration status, your environment in your house with your family, being in the closet, like so many things can be triggering that.
Right. But it also can be just purely biological.
Yes.
And no other reason.
Yeah.
So that's the thing too, that I'm like, oh, like literally it can be just science. And that's something that I haven't really given thought to. Because I'm always like, there's always a root cause.
Yeah.
There's always something going on. But literally no. It could just be what's happening in the brain.
Yeah.
And for that, medication is like the way to assist. So that's been enlightening because I don't like that answer, says my ego. But the therapist in me is like, and any and all options to help the person.
Yeah, and you can always have that as, okay, what's the root? If it's only chemical, okay, then there's a solution for that super easily. It's like dysfunctional erectile dysfunction. It's like, is it medical or is it psychological? And which one's worse?
Or is it a side effect? And you're like, shit.
Or physical. Yeah, it's like, which one's worse? Because if it's emotional, damn.
Ooh,
what can I do? Yeah. So it's a good option. It's a good thing to know that you have that.
It's a good thing to know that some things can just purely be chemically and scientifically and biologically happening.
Yeah.
That's helpful for me to know.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's grounding.
That is grounding.
Yeah.
Because I always want to be like, let's dig this out. Let's figure this out. Like, let's help. Like, let's do yoga. Let's do this. Let's have
a regression to previous lives.
Yeah, past life regression. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like, but
maybe
also,
it's just simple.
It could just literally be like, that's why people, like, it's hard for me when people want to know the why all the time. Or like, why is this happening? Or why is this? Why is this? Why is this? It's like, some people literally don't know why. Or like, why are you feeling that way? Sometimes it's just a chemical imbalance in the brain. Well, because my neurotransmitter didn't release, or it did too much serotonin. Now, like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I just know I'm feeling like this way.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man.
Good learning, Hannah.
All the things. One day at a time. Learn
all
something
A's.
new.
All A's, bitch. Yes.
Till midterms, we'll see. You're just kidding.
Yeah, so far.
They're due Sunday, so I have some time.
Yeah.
But.
I mean, you're learning. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
So, I guess that's it for today.
Okay.
I just wanted to give a shout out to our editor and mixer, Susana Romero, in Colombia.
Yes.
Hi. Hey, girl. Hola.
She's probably listening, editing, like, oh, hey,
that's me. Susana. See.
Yeah, it's so helpful. She's been doing all the editing for the audio and cutting and doing all the things we don't know how to do. So.
Yeah. And also to our illustrator, graphic designer that just gave us our beautiful cover that you're going to start. I mean, you already, by this episode, you already seen the new look. Her name's Jocelyn Vasquez and she's in Tijuana. If you want to follow her on Instagram and see her creations, her Instagram is at Tia Aburrida. It's TIAABURRIDA. I can't spell. It's hard for me because we don't spell in Spanish. We just like know how to write phonetically. Yeah, we just sound it out.
Yeah.
So I'm a slow speller and I really need to imagine the letters in my head.
And also we don't listen all that well, so it's nice to spell slow.
Yes. Later. You're welcome.
I appreciate. So I'm like, wait, hold on. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. Yeah, but sometimes people just like spell things at me super quickly, and I'm like, whoa. You need to slow down.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, pump the brakes. Okay, yeah.
Reverse.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you want to check her work, Tia Aburrida, which means bored aunt.
Bored
and like not the insect, but
like your auntie. family.
Okay, yeah.
Tia. Duh. Okay.
Tia Aburrida.
I see.
So
good.
Yes. Okay. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next week.
And glad you learned now all the yamas and niyamas. So go forth with your first and second limb of yoga.
Yes, practice.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Namaste.